kitchen today, and I'll be joined by my friend Peder. And Peder is a personal trainer, a bodybuilder, and a fabulous cook. And he'll be making something from his home country, which is Sweden. So without further ado, I'll switch it over to Peder. Hi Peder, welcome. What are you going to be cooking today?
We are going to cook Swedish meatballs since I'm from Sweden and you wanted to have some help with the original recipe.
And what's going to go with the Swedish meatballs?
We're going to make, so start with Swedish meatballs, then something we call pressed cucumber. They have a little tangy flavor to them that is typical for Swedish meatballs. Mashed potatoes and lingonberries. Unfortunately we didn't have like the real raw lingonberries who can make them, so we're using lingonberry jam, but that works totally fine. We use it in Sweden too.
Let's get started.
Let's do it. Let's cook. Alright, so for the cucumber recipe, the pressed cucumber as we call it, we need parsley, cucumber, vinegar, salt, white pepper, sugar and some water. Alright, so first we're going to start with slicing up the cucumber. We're going to mix the water first, which is almost half a cup, so 2 tablespoons. Two tablespoons of sugar in this too. A little bit of white pepper. You could use black pepper, but white pepper is the original for us. A pinch of salt. And that's pretty much it for the liquid. So next step is to put the cucumber in this water and vinegar solution. So we mix everything in here and then stir it up. Alright, so the next step is we're going to fine chop up the parsley, and the parsley is totally up to you how much you want to put in it. In Sweden we use quite a bit of parsley, probably more than if you find another regular recipe online. So we fine chop it, and this is going to be a lot to cover the cucumbers with. So the final step for this dish is we're going to just get the parsley in the cucumbers, all of it, right there, and then take a spoon. I'm going to stir it up so it gets well mixed before we're going to set it aside for about 30 minutes to an hour so it puts some flavor on it. So since the name of this dish is pressed cucumber, we actually take a plate, put on top of the mix that we have here. Take something that weighs a pound or more than a pound, put on top of it, and we're going to leave it there for at least 30 minutes, maybe even up to an hour, so it squeezes the juices together. For the meatballs, we have the main ingredient, which is 1.5 pounds of ground pork, 1 pound of ground beef. Then we have the breadcrumbs, so you can choose if you want seasoned ones or not. Heavy whipping cream, salt, allspice, white pepper, not black pepper if you can find it, Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of sweet chili. 1 onion, medium size, and 2 eggs. A half to a medium small onion, and we're going to clean it up a little bit first. I'm sure everyone do it in a different way, but this is the way I do it, just to get the outer layer off. So that's gone. Start the chopping part, which I do this way. Slice it pretty thin, not really shaved, but pretty thin. We're going to mix the onion in here, and this was the whole onion we were using. It's a little bit up to you how much you like onions. So the first thing we do is mixing the meat in, and I'm going to use my hands for everything so it gets nicely mixed. And this is 1.5 pounds of ground pork, pound of ground beef, I'm going to get 2 eggs in here. I have almost a full cup here of breadcrumbs. half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of allspice, see if I can get it right here, almost there, and a half a teaspoon of white pepper. A little bit, just a little bit, it is by choice, a little bit, a squirt of Worcestershire sauce in there. And the same with the sweet chili sauce, a little bit of that too. And then we'll finish off with the heavy whipping cream, which is almost half a cup. Then we have the onion that we just sauteed up. You could put them in raw if you want, but we prefer to do them already cooked, caramelized a little bit. And now we're going to mix everything together here. Alright, so now we come to the fun part, rolling the meatballs. So we're gonna make them a little bit bigger since they will shrink down in the pan. So make them to like maybe 1.5 inches size. And make sure you press them together so they get pretty compact when you do them. So that's one good size. So now we're going to start the cooking process. So we turn on the pan on high heat. So we're going to just crisp them up or brown them up before we can put them in the oven and finish the cooking there. So quite a bit of butter, so we have something to work with. Alright, so we're going to put the meatballs in here and see how it turns out and if everything fits. Sounds good. They all fit. One to go. Alright, so now we're going to start flipping them over so we get a little bit even cooking on all the sides. So I use 2 wooden ones so I don't mess up the meatballs. We're going to take them off here and we're going to start putting all the ingredients for the sauce together. Alright, so this is the last ingredients now for we're going to finally make the sauce. So we need some butter, all-purpose flour, beef stock, salt, pepper, allspice, heavy cream, and we're going to fine chop up some parsley again. That's only to sprinkle a little bit over when the whole dish is ready, just for garnish basically. With that, we're going to let it melt down. Let's turn down the heat a little bit. Then we're going to put the 1/4 of a cup of flour in here and whisk it up a little bit with the butter so it gets together. 3 cups of beef stock. This is 2 of them so far. So here is the 3rd cup of our beef stock. The heavy whipping cream. Half a teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. Also got 1/4 teaspoon of the black pepper. Alright, so once it starts bubbling, which is getting pretty close now, we're going to pour it over the meatballs and finish the rest inside the oven. Alright, so getting to the final process, we're going to pour all the sauce over the meatballs so they cover nice and even here, and then it goes into the oven. That looks beautiful. The cucumber should be done. So it's been here for over an hour now, probably an hour and a half since we've been cooking. And this is the results. It looks about the same, but the cucumbers are softer, the parsley is softer, and they kind of have a little tangy flavor on them. All right, so this is it. They should be done, and it looks very nice. And we got the finishing touch here. Gonna get a little bit of parsley just for decoration and some flavor. This is the end result: meatballs, mashed potatoes, gravy, pressed cucumber, and lingonberry. And in this case, we had to use the lingonberry from IKEA. That's the only way we can get them here. Not the real fresh lingonberry, but these are delicious too. So perfect meal. All right, so this is the end results. Nice and pretty meal. And we're gonna find out how it is. If we made a good cooking here. Try the meatballs. A little bit of lingonberries with mashed potato. And the pressed cucumber. It's perfect. Perfect. Super delicious. So you should really try this recipe. Give it a chance and you will love it. Cheers.